Dealing with anger is one of the most transformative challenges we can face on our journey of personal growth and self-awareness. Anger, when it arises, is like a storm that sweeps through the mind and heart, leaving us feeling unsettled, reactive, and disconnected from our inner peace. But what if anger isn't an enemy to be fought or suppressed, but rather an opportunity for growth? What if, instead of succumbing to the energy of anger, we could use it as a tool for self-discovery and transformation? When anger arises, it creates a surge of energy that directly influences our thoughts. In those moments, we may find ourselves thinking that our efforts to improve, to grow, to become more centered are futile. It's easy to believe that anger defines us, that it's a permanent part of who we are. But let's take a moment to reflect on this. Are these thoughts true, or are they merely reflections of the emotional energy of anger itself? When we're caught in the grip of anger, it can feel overwhelming and absolute. But in truth, these thoughts are temporary, fueled by the intensity of the moment. They are not inherent truths about who we are. Imagine for a moment that the next time anger arises, instead of reacting to it or judging ourselves for feeling it, we simply become aware of it. Awareness is the first step. Anger may come on suddenly, like a flash of lightning, but if we can pause, even for a split second, and notice it, we create a space. In that space, we are no longer entirely consumed by the emotion. We can begin to observe it. This observation isn't easy at first because anger has a way of pulling us in, convincing us that its narrative is the only reality. But the practice of staying present, even amidst the intensity, is where the true work lies. Consider the idea that this energy of anger might not even belong to the present moment. Perhaps it's rooted in something deeper, something older, what some might call the pain body. The pain body is an accumulation of unresolved emotional energy from our past, and when it's triggered, it can rise up with such force that it feels as though it's taken over. Recognizing this doesn't mean we blame ourselves or our past. Rather, it offers us insight. If we can see anger as part of this larger pattern, we can begin to disidentify from it. We can remind ourselves that we are not our anger, we are the awareness behind it. This shift from identification to observation is profound. When we identify with anger, we become it. Our thoughts, words, and actions flow from that place of anger, often leading to regret or further conflict. But when we observe anger, we become the witness. We create a distinction between ourselves and the emotion. We might notice the physical sensations that accompany anger: a racing heart, clenched fists, a tightening in the chest. By bringing our awareness to these sensations, we ground ourselves in the present moment. This grounding helps us stay connected to the part of ourselves that is calm, centered, and unshaken. The practice of witnessing anger is not about suppressing it. Suppression only buries the emotion deeper, where it can fester and resurface later. Nor is it about indulging the anger, allowing it to dictate our behavior unchecked. Instead, it's about allowing anger to be there without losing ourselves in it. It's about acknowledging, yes, anger is here right now, but it is not me. It is something I am experiencing. This simple yet profound shift changes everything. When we can see anger for what it is, a temporary state, an energy passing through, we open the door to transformation. We stop fighting ourselves and instead start working with the energy. This doesn't mean we won't falter. Anger is persuasive. It will try to convince us that we've failed, that we're incapable of change, that there's something inherently wrong with us. But when these thoughts arise, we can recognize them as the voice of anger itself. They are not truths. They are part of the storm. Each moment of anger is an opportunity to practice. Even if we don't catch it in the moment, we can reflect afterward with curiosity and compassion. What triggered the anger? What thoughts arose? How did it feel in the body? This kind of reflection is not about judgment, but about understanding. The more we understand our patterns, the more awareness we bring to them, and the less power they hold over us. Reflection gives us a chance to decode our triggers, to untangle the complex web of emotions that fuel anger. It shows us that what feels like chaos is, in fact, an invitation to deeper self-awareness and healing. Over time, this practice of awareness leads to deeper insights. We might start to notice recurring themes, certain situations or interactions that consistently trigger anger. These patterns reveal valuable truths about our expectations, our fears, and the wounds we carry from the past. Perhaps the anger we feel isn't even about the present situation, but is instead a reflection of something unresolved within us. This kind of understanding doesn't just help us cope with anger, it helps us transcend it. We begin to see anger as a signal, a guide pointing us toward the areas of our lives that need attention and compassion. True transformation doesn't come from trying to change who we are. It comes from understanding and embracing all parts of ourselves, even the parts that feel messy or uncomfortable. Anger, when observed with awareness, becomes a teacher. It shows us where we are still holding on, where we need to heal, where we can grow. It's not about eradicating anger, but about transforming our relationship with it. Through this transformation, we can find a sense of liberation, not by suppressing anger, but by allowing it to reveal what lies beneath the surface. There's a beautiful paradox in this process. The more we resist anger, the stronger it becomes. But when we allow it to be, when we observe it without judgment, its intensity diminishes. It no longer controls us. Instead, it becomes a wave that rises and falls, leaving us stronger, clearer, and more connected to our true selves. Each time we practice this, we strengthen our ability to remain present, even in challenging moments. We build resilience and cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace. As we practice awareness, we start to see how moments of anger offer not just challenges, but also gifts. Anger invites us to slow down, to pay attention, to listen. It asks us to look inward, to question the stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what we deserve. By bringing curiosity to our experience, we transform anger from something destructive into something constructive. Each wave of anger becomes an opportunity to rewrite the narrative, to let go of old patterns, and to embrace a new way of being. So the next time anger arises, remember this: it is not a failure, it is an opportunity. It is a moment to practice awareness, to step back and observe, to remind yourself that you are not your anger. You are the witness, the presence, the stillness beneath it all. And with each moment of awareness, you take another step toward true transformation, toward living with greater peace, compassion, and freedom. You start to see anger not as a burden, but as a doorway, a path to greater understanding, healing, and self-discovery. By embracing this path, you reclaim your power, your presence, and your inner peace.